Hello. Nice. All right. So, people are still kind of spilling in, so I'm just gonna chat a little bit. So, I kind of hurt my head just a bit ago. I can feel it throbbing. Don't do what I did. It kind of hurts. All right. So I'll go ahead and get started. So, I'd like to share with you an experience that I had, one of which I will never forget. I'll never forget this. 2 years ago, I was admitted into the hospital. Sad, I know. So I was admitted into the hospital on account of heavy weight loss and heavy constipation. Now, the heavy weight loss was very quickly attributed to a diagnosis of type 1 diabetes. The constipation took a little bit longer to figure out, but towards the end of my week-long stay, they were like, all right, we're going to do an MRI of your abdomen. And I was like, oh, that sounds exciting. I've never gotten an MRI before. I was to be disappointed very shortly. So the nurse walks in, she's got this cup, and she's like, all right, here's some tracer fluid, I'm going to need you to drink this. It's berry flavored. It wasn't, it was terrible. She's like, I'm just going to need you to drink as much as possible. I know it can be hard to get down, so I was like, oh, cool, I could soldier through it. Grabbed the cup, took a sip, put it down, didn't touch it. And then she walked in, a good 2 hours later, and she was like, well, how are you still working on the tracer fluid? I'm like, I'm not working, I haven't been working on it since you left. And she was like, I don't blame you. And then she's like, all right, we're going to go ahead and wheel you down to where we're going to go ahead and do the MRI. And she's like, but first I'm going to need you to put this on. And she hands me the little hospital gown. And I just like to say, gown's a little bit extravagant for what they give you. I think gown is like, oh, my wedding gown, or like my ballroom gown. This is like a thin napkin that's draped over your body that leaves just enough room for an uncomfortable breeze. It wasn't anything that I was like, a gown. It definitely wasn't a gown. Anyways, so they put me in the wheelchair. I wasn't allowed to walk around the hospital by myself yet. So they wheeled me down. It was kind of fitting for the gown name, it was wheeled around like a king. They had to work for me. So they wheeled me down to this little waiting room where everybody else was waiting for similar procedures. I did a quick scan of the room, read the faces, didn't like what I saw. Half of the faces were very distant. They had this 1,000-yard stare, and the other half were like me, confused on why everybody else looked so terrified. And, I got to see people come and go. There was, people who looked confused would come back, and I think they figured out what they were confused about, because they came back with the same face as everybody else, and that wasn't too comforting for me. Now, I was soon to find out what everything entailed as it was my turn. They wheeled me over to this very cold room, and in the middle of the room was a metal table, and it was very cold, especially with my napkin draped around my body. And they laid me down and they gave me an IV, which I didn't mind. I had been pumped full of IV for almost a week. I was used to it. I was a champ. And then the technician was like, all right, I'm going to need you to lay on your side. And I was like, I'm a slight sleeper. I can do it. I was soon to find out why. He goes, all right, you're going to feel a little bit of pressure. And my first thought was, where? I found out very shortly. They violated me without warning, and I wasn't too happy about it. I was shaking in my boots. And the technician goes, all right, I'm going to have to ask you to relax. And I don't know if you've ever been in a situation like that, but relaxing isn't something that most people would do, and it wasn't something that I was going to do anytime soon. So after a good 5-minute struggle, he finally got past the threshold and told me that my colon was going to start to fill with some liquid, and I was like, all right, sounds great. So, things were happening, I was feeling it, and then I started to feel something else, and that was wet. And so I said what anybody could say in that situation, and I was laying on my side like this, and I was like, I'm wet. And the technician said something that also didn't make me feel relaxed. He walks out and he goes, uh-oh. And that was scary, and so he got everything out of me, and he was like, all right, there appears to be some blockage, which was really redundant because, I had blockage for a week. It was kind of self-explanatory, and he told me, all right, I'm going to have to go ahead and ask you to do your best and clear out some of that blockage. there's the restroom. And he pointed and he threw a towel at me. And so I dried myself off, and I attempted to confidently walk to the bathroom, but it looked something like this. I was holding back the floodgates. Got to the restroom, and I let everything out of me. And after a good 15 minutes, I cleared some blockage. And then I spent way too long cleaning myself up. I was about to present myself in front of professionals, and I didn't want to embarrass myself with looking filthy. So I wiped and, And after that, I walked back out, again, very confidently, but, I could move my legs a little bit more. I was feeling more, movement ready. And I laid back down on the table, got on my side to put the IV back in me, and they're like, all right, here we go again. And then the technician said something that was so uncomfortably chipper, I will also never forget it. Where is it? He goes, all right. Upsy daisy. And I think he was trying to make me feel more comfortable about the whole situation, but it more felt like Mr. Rogers was giving me an enema. And it wasn't really comfortable. It wasn't comfortable. So, went through the whole thing. They did a thing, the little machine, whirred around my head. I was like, I was shaking in my boots for a good 5 minutes. They're like, we're almost done, just hold it together. And I was holding it. And, everything's said and done, the technician comes out and he's like, all right, that was it. As if it was nothing for me. As if I was like, oh, I'm a champion, that was nothing. I feel like he's a little bit more used to the whole situation than I am. And so he was like, that was it. Pulled the IV out of me, pulled, the other thing out of me. And he was like, all right, now I recommend going to the restroom as soon as possible because you're going to want to release. And so I did. I went to the restroom. It was an oddly satisfying feeling for me, after which I, again, wiped myself clean, put the tablecloth, attached the baggage back, and I walked out, and my mother was waiting in the waiting room, and she asked me something that I have not yet explained until tonight, but she went, so, how'd it go? And I never said anything for the rest of the day, and I haven't told anybody until tonight. Thank you guys so much for enjoying my